Right now, the Walt Disney Company would like to be taking a victory lap when it comes to Inside Out 2. Instead, they're stuck discussing Gina Carano, James O'Keefe, the Acolyte's failure, the destruction of Star Wars. And now, Amandla Stenberg has stepped into the middle of all of it and really has given a gift to Disney to say, no, you won't talk about what's going well. We're going right back to the broke that is ultra woke. Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we endeavor to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. It is a joy as always. Now folks, you might be thinking that we're going to be bombastic and lambast poor Amandla Stenberg, as you can see right here on her Instagram, and I have no doubt so many of you have already seen the quote unquote music video that she has put out. The top left, if you want to go find it, is on Instagram. Link is in the video description down below. You are welcome to go watch what Amandla Stenberg allegedly made in 3 days. And based on this, we'll even say she was more impressive and made it in 2 days because, well, reasons that we have to think that. And this is going far and wide, of course. It's been picked up by this account over on X called End Wokeness. And that's going well. Tons of views. Let's refresh the page and see what we've got on this in terms of, since I last clicked on it to get it ready. Folks, we can't play the audio, apologies, but we got 1.1 million views on this so far. And if you add all the other stuff, all the other places it's being viewed, probably 10, 20, 50 million views. The question is, does Disney want this to be viewed? And I would suggest Disney definitely does not. The lesson from Inside Out 2 was that Disney, when they don't do woke, they make money. And what Amandla Stenberg apparently wants to do is force them to be back totally head over heels back in woke. This is what the article from That Park Place says. Actress Amandla Stenberg, who plays good twin and bad twin in Star Wars The Acolyte, claimed to be the victim of racism and released a cringe song in an attempt to maximize the virtue signal, talking about the day that she released it. Now, we're going to respond directly to Amandla because the song seems to be written to us and to others. And so we're going to respond in kind fashion. I'm going to talk to Amandla directly. That's something different that we don't typically do here on this channel, but I'm going to respond directly. And I, in many ways, feel sorry for Amandla. Now, as we get ready to read the lyrics, folks, I just want you to understand that Amandla, she is in her very early 20s. And so some grace is due here. She also, though, has a net worth reportedly in excess of $2 million. And because the net worth of the average early 20-something-year-old in America is dramatically lower than that, if you want to know exactly how good Amandla has it, it's something approximating 20 to 40 times the net worth of her peers. So although she wants to appear as someone who is struggling, that's not the case. Amandla grew up in a very diverse background in a very wealthy neighborhood. Amandla is a trained classical violinist. Amandla is starring in the latest Disney Plus show with a $200 million budget. So forgive me if I'm not going to treat Amandla as if she is someone who is struggling against oppressive forces. I think she's been treated well in life. All right, let's take a look at what the lyrics to this are. And folks, here's what we've got. I'm going to respond to each and one of these. Thank you to Jonas J. Campbell for getting these together for me. Here's what we have. Amandla says in her song that, again, she says she made, or at least someone says she made in 3 days. I'm going viral on Twitter again. Open up the news to find some interesting things. 20 million views. Amandla, yes, you're starring in the latest Star Wars live-action show that is being made by Leslie Headland, who is the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein. So that comes with the territory. I know you're young, and I'm going to be very nice. I'm going to be very easy with you on this, but when you star in very big shows or movies, you're going to be all over social media. You're making a lot of money off this, and the reason you're making a lot of money is because that's what's going to happen. You have to face that a lot of people are going to be talking about you positively and negatively. Not everybody wants fame. I don't want fame. You might not want fame based on these lyrics, but this is what happens when you're the star of a controversial show made by a very controversial person. Interview from 2018 with Trevor the King when I was a teen. Okay, so based on that, I'm going to say that you're suggesting that this interview that was all over social media, it's old news and that you were young. And so we should look over that. And I think that's fair, Amandla, because you were young. And when we're young and in our past, every one of us, including the viewers here, have said really dumb things. And what you said was really dumb. And I understand why you would not want that out there. And I hate that for you. The sad thing is that when we are major movie stars and TV stars in controversial shows, this kind of stuff is going to come out. And there are good ways to handle it and bad ways to handle it. The issue is when you're young, it's really hard to choose the good ways to handle it. Just being young and learning how the world works is tough enough, little alone when you are in front of 100 million people or more watching you. That's tough. I was running from city to city to speak on a story. Again, another excuse, I think, for what was said is that there were many of these interviews. You know the one, police ending a person of color. And that's very sad and tragic. And I don't know the details of this particular story. I didn't see your movie. But maybe this is a situation that needed to be brought to the knowledge of the masses. I don't know. My people cried in the theater finding release. White people cried, they see us as human beings. Now, this is the problem, Amandla, and this is why I think you're in need of some real adjustment in terms of the way that you view the world. First of all, you're ultra rich, you're ultra famous, and you are backed by the most powerful institutions on the planet. You are not someone who is treated in a poor way. You are chauffeured to and from. You are given every nicety there is. And your people are apparently not white people. And white people, every single white person, according to this lyric line, doesn't see others as human beings until they watch your movie. And that's a really despicable way to see the world, Amandla. That's the lowest resolution thinking I can imagine, where you lump people together based on human construct concepts, and then you treat them as if they have some sort of collectivist guilt that's applied to them simply because you call them white or black or brown. That virtue and guilt is assigned to them, and it's inescapable. To me, that's despicable, and it's anti everything I believe in. Because I believe, Amandla, that you're an individual. And I think that you're going to do well or poorly with your career based on you. And I think that there are people of Scottish descent and people of Slavic descent. And by the way, Slav is a term that we derive the word slave from, because all of those quote unquote white people were slaves. They were Slavs. But I think people of Scottish descent and people of Slavic descent don't have a common ancestry or experience, yet you lump them together. And I think that's just as low resolution thinking as trying to imagine that every person who comes from Africa comes from the same culture. There's a wide diaspora of cultures in Africa, all of them worthy of study, all of them worthy of spending time on, pondering through. I don't think it's wise to lump people into white or black. I've always hated those terms because white and black are as far away from each other as any color in the spectrum possibly could be. They're the opposites, the polar opposites. I don't like those terms at all. You might hear me have to use them, but I don't like them. And I definitely don't like classifying everyone into these groups and then taking those groups and assigning the value or the guilt or the innocence just based on those. Because again, that is the lowest resolution of thinking one could possibly imagine for how you would identify people. Trevor asked what I want the people to know. I said white people crying was the goal. If they could take one thing, what would it be? I say empathy. Again, you are assuming that every white person needs empathy. And Amandla, I want to be kind to you, but this is very stupid. And you need to hear that. You need to know that this is stupid. It's stupid because you are assigning the same need of empathy to someone who is a terrible person, perhaps living somewhere in a land where people are terrible towards others of other races. You're applying that same need for empathy to someone who is perhaps a teacher in an urban school, an inner city school. Maybe a young white woman, an older white woman, maybe a man who's teaching young we'll use the term, black youth every single day to give them a leg up on their path forward. And you lump those people together. And that's stupid. It's really stupid, Amandla. Ooh, that's why they mad at me. Nobody's mad at you, Amandla. They feel sorry for you that you have this kind of thinking. They splice lines that make hate they recognize. Again, nobody hates you. Nobody's mad at you. Everyone wishes that you would see the light. Make it look like the same propaganda they spew, because they conflate our pain with violence and try to weaponize everything that we do. Amandla, you star in TV shows and you play the violin, and you probably received very expensive lessons to learn how to do all of that. And you grew up in a very nice neighborhood with gated doors and protection. You don't have anything in common with people who struggle and might be connected with violence. You're the ultra rich. That's who you are. The desperation of oppressors is rising. Again, Amandla, you have all the power. Disney is carrying the water for you. Disney is giving you tremendous power, voice, and paycheck. And now they holding on to any of the things they can use. If you rely upon misinformation, then that tells me you're afraid of the truth. And I actually don't think this is the way that Amandla speaks. I think she's taking on this kind of language in order to have credibility, because she's role-playing being someone that isn't ultra-rich. She's role-playing. She's pretending. She's imagining as a young 20-year-old being someone who is a victim of society when she's at the very top of the ladder. She's at the very top. We so bored don't bonk, taking the word out, wit yo discourse. That was said 12 times because Amandla is a great lyricist. And now you listening, I'm going to tell you something fascinating. They spinning woke, bastardize it, and appropriate it. Last I recall, woke was something we created. Amandla, you're 23, 24 years old. You didn't create this. This was way before you. And the word woke means postmodern neo-Marxism. That's what it means. That's a lot of syllables, so people just say woke. What woke is, Amandla, is, let's take postmodern, first of all. Postmodern is the idea that there is no actual, absolute, objective truth. It's your truth and my truth. And that's how we get into songs like this where you pretend to be poor and struggling when you're one of the richest kids anyone will ever meet. So that's postmodernism. You're taking on a truth that doesn't resemble reality in any way. The Marxism part, the neo-Marxism, Marx is the idea that there are the oppressed and there are oppressors. And traditionally, that was based on the idea of socioeconomic status. So poor people oppressed and rich people oppressors. And that's the idea. It's a slap against the meritocracy. It's the idea that you cannot rise out of your position in life, nor can you fall out of it. But neo-Marxism takes that and does something more insidious. Neo-Marxism says that it's not your socioeconomic status, which is good for you, by the way, because you want to be part of this oppressed group. Neo-Marxism says that instead, you are the oppressed simply by immutable differences you're born with, and you can never get out of that. And the oppressors, likewise, are oppressors simply because of their race, their gender, their sex, their identity, their creed, whatever it might be. They are the oppressors because they were born that way. And they can never stop being oppressors, but they could grovel, and groveling might help. And that's the situation. That's why it's insidious. It's absolutely devastating to individualism, and it's a horrifically bad idea that only results in deconstruction and destruction of society. That's what woke is. And I'm sorry you don't like that, but you didn't make it, and you probably don't even understand what it is in the first place. Speak truth to power. Keep an eye out for you silly roses. And now they use it to describe anything they threaten by. Remember when Gambino put it in the zeitgeist. I think you were just trying to find rhymes. But I congratulate you on getting zeitgeist rhymed in there. That's impressive. Good job on zeitgeist. It actually doesn't rhyme with anything, but you got it in. It was all about the people recognizing bigotry, saying it that way on purpose, folks, the power of community, not fodder for your clickbait. Speaking of which, journalists, I'm looking at you. So Amandla here is angry because the coverage of the Acolyte has not gone well. It's not been well received. And so she is calling for the journalist to come save her. That's what this is. Did you forget it's your job to provide the truth? And again, if you believe in wokeism, you don't believe in objective truth. So this is a call for them to tell the truth, her truth. Spreading divisiveness, mining the metrics and data, seem you gave up all your ethics for monies and views. I don't know who you're talking about here. You don't consider probably those who dislike the product to be journalists, but apparently you see everyone as journalists online. I don't know. That's special. And I can tell that the people are tired and the kids don't trust anything that they view. We can learn from their discernment. The future's coming, and it's always the youth. Well, viva la revolucion then, eh, Amanda? We so bored, don't with your discourse, say it 12 times. My sis said, don't let it get to your spirit. So this is under her skin now. That's what this is all about. She's in the Acolyte. The Acolyte sucks. It's not being well received, and it's bothered her, and thus she had the time to make a music video that's not going to go over well. But I'm sick and blanking tired of suppressing my rage. Amandla is enraged that she is in a, who knows how big the house is? Who knows how nice it is? Who knows how many people help take care of her? Who knows how many people she employs in one way or another to service her needs? But she's going to hold back her rage. 400 years of taking their blank. So one might assume that this is referring then to 400 years of the United States. It might be referring to the 1619 Project. I'm not sure. But 400 years of taking their blank. This is probably another reference of Rossism, because Amandla, sees the world simply in black and white. It's the lowest resolution way of seeing the world. It's stupid, but it allows her to role play being a victim while she is utterly and totally catered to in every way possible. Except that it turns out that if you are part of a show that stinks, you don't get praised by the masses, and you can't force them yet to do so. To compartmentalize like my ancestors had to engage. So now Amandla, folks, I want you to understand this. Amandla, who is extraordinarily rich and lives in absolute luxury, is comparing herself to people who were brought over in ships, and their freedom was taken away from them, and they were forced into labor under the most horrendous of circumstances. Many of them died on the way over. She's comparing herself to them because people don't like a TV show she's in. Amandla, this is unhealthy. This is not good for you. This is not anywhere close to reality. And if you hold these kinds of positions, people aren't going to want to be associated with you because you're not anywhere close to who those people are, who they were, what they went through. You don't have those experiences. And it's easy for you to identify with them in some ways, but you probably should not ever connect the idea that your TV show is not being well received with their experiences. That's a conflation you don't want to make. If you don't confront the pain that you live with, it'll manifest as addiction, diseases, and hate. I've seen the infection repression will give you. I'm not going to be the next one sent to an early grave. Amandla, I don't think you're going to go to an early grave. I hope you don't. I hope you take care of yourself, and I hope you stay healthy. And I'm going to give you some very serious advice that I mean, Amandla. If being famous, and if having all this clout, and if having this kind of a voice over the internet, if it causes you that kind of anguish when people don't receive your content well, then, and by the way, if you can't respond in a way that's healthy for you and for growing your career, then you should probably consider not participating in that. You don't have to be famous. I'm not telling you not to be famous. I'm just telling you, you don't have to be. But you're currently making a lot of money and being given tremendous voice by the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, a woman who was in close proximity with some of the worst sins ever committed against just women in general. And that person is making you famous and giving you tremendous wealth. So I'm sorry if you don't come from a place where people are going to say, yup, she's got the moral high ground. But that's where you are. Folks, you'll notice my tone and tenor different in this video. But I'm truly speaking directly to Amandla. I want her to understand what we're trying to say. There's a brighter, better, more sophisticated view of the world that I think Amandla would do very well to adopt. And that is that every single person you come across is ill-defined by the color of their skin, ill-defined by their ancestors, ill-defined by so many of the things they are born with. But they are a kaleidoscope of amazing things. And Amandla, if you will sit down with people of all different backgrounds, of all different creeds, and learn about them, you will never get tired learning of each individual. If someone is boring you, you're not listening closely enough. And don't try to associate yourself with some of the worst things that have ever happened to people on the planet. You don't come from that sort of a situation. You're ultra wealthy. You're ultra powerful. You're ultra privileged. And whatever you may want to be, that's who you are at this moment. Take it and do good with it. Treat everybody kindly. We're all God's babies. And that would be a very healthy thing for you. And given the power you've received, what a joy it would be to see you use that well for everyone, to love on everybody, and to encourage others to love on everybody, regardless of the color of their skin. May everyone who watches this video, when they see someone in need of any background, take the time to be kind and to treat them as the infinitely valuable human being that they are. That is the legacy I would like to leave every single time. All right, folks, that's the video on the Acolyte. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment right on down below. Let us know, did we make any mistakes? Was this okay? Is it a weird video and you don't want one of these ever, never again? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Folks, if you'd like some sunshiny kind of content, go check out Vacation Radio at Vacation Radio for more brand new songs every single week, giving you brand new stuff to listen to. It's all original. You'll love it. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
You'd better hang on to your feathers, little bird. They need to put you in the show.
What? Jose, what are you listening to? You don't even have ears.
Vacation Radio 24/7. Original music on YouTube. Vacation Radio. WDW Pro Channel.
I have no idea what you're saying. But if you want to be listening to music, you should head over to Vacation Radio 24/7 on YouTube. One of the 100 other channels WDW Pro's been working on. Oh, and I have a song for you, Jose. Jose Cowabunga. He is Jose Cowabunga.
He's Jose.
That one seems a little bit foreign to you.